Are you your own best friend or your own worst enemy? Hi, I'm Dr. Rochelle with Crossroads Renewal. I'm a life and leadership transformation coach and clinical psychologist, and I equip and empower people to live their best lives, especially as they move through change and transition. So the question, are you your own best friend or own worst enemy, really comes from a place of what are the words you're speaking to yourself every day? If somebody could get inside your head, or if your words could be amplified to the atmosphere around you, what would people conclude about your relationship with yourself? Are you forgiving? Are you compassionate? Do you give yourself room to grow and make mistakes, to fail sometimes? Or are you a harsh critic, where you beat down on yourself when you say things that maybe hurt somebody's feelings, or something you do doesn't work out, or you don't finish a task because you get distracted and then you start beating on yourself? I know we all struggle with the tendency toward wanting to be perfect, but there is no freedom in perfection. First of all, there's no truth in it, because as human beings, we are naturally flawed. We are going to make mistakes. We are going to not meet our own expectations. Of course, we're not going to always meet the expectations of other people, but that does not detract from your value and your worth. Now, let me ask you this. What are you really gaining from this idea that you need to be perfect? Last week, I posted a meme in our group that said, basically, give yourself permission to not be perfect. There was a lot of response to this one, which really says to me, we're all kind of struggling with that, me included. Even before I sit down and record a video, I'm feeling like this has to be perfect. It's like, no, it doesn't. It just needs to be real. It just needs to be Rochelle being herself. Me giving myself permission to be a flawed human being, just doing the best she can. Now, why am I giving you this message today? Because I know you need to hear that it's okay to be you, that flawed human being who's just doing the best you can. And what happens when we put perfectionistic standards upon ourselves? Think about it. It increases your stress. You might have a to-do list that's 100 items long, maybe some that you've put on but others have put on you, whether it be a spouse or your kids or your boss, whatever. But mostly it's what we put on ourselves. And so when you look at that unending list and think, even if you get 3 or 4 done, you still feel like it's not enough, like it's never enough. When will it ever be enough? When are you enough? Well, I'm going to propose when you decide to accept yourself as you are. Now you say, well, Rochelle, that's easy for you to say. It's not so easy to do. And I agree, which is why we have to be very focused on what are the thoughts we're thinking. So I want you to pay attention as you go through this day and this week. What are thoughts you're having about yourself? Tune into what are the expectations you have of yourself. Would you put them on your best friend or someone you loved? Do you give yourself compassion when you're going through hard times, when you're struggling, when things don't work out the way you want? Or are you coming alongside beating yourself up for that? How would you treat someone you love? Are you doing that for yourself? So pay attention to the thoughts you're having about yourself today and this week. And I'm always going to come back to the importance of writing it down, because what we don't know, we just keep doing what we're doing. So writing things down helps you to become more aware of those thoughts that go flitting through your mind throughout the day. And as you capture them with your butterfly catcher, catch those butterflies of thoughts and examine them and ask yourself, are these thoughts that are compassionate, or are these thoughts that are critical? And what benefit is it to continue to think critical thoughts of myself? Is it really helping me become a better person? Or is it just creating discouragement and despair where you just want to give up hope and not keep working on your goals? Keeping track of your thoughts, noticing what you're thinking about, that is the first step to shifting your life to being a place of acceptance and giving yourself more compassion. Now, I'd like to close right now with some statements that I would really love for you to begin to start saying to yourself when you catch yourself being critical, when you hear that perfectionistic tone in your mind. I want you to simply say to yourself, I'm doing the best I can. And I choose to accept myself where I am in this moment. Then what I want you to do is take a nice, slow, deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Learn to love yourself one thought at a time. Have a powerful week.